Hello and welcome to video number 4, and in this video we're going to talk about image conversion. So why would you want to convert your images from one type to another? Well, as far as what we've been talking about, how to make the images faster, load quicker, so that the experience for your visitors are going to be a lot better. So there are different types of images out there. We've got PNGs, we've got JPEGs, we've got GIF files, and we have all sorts of other files as well. JPEGs are a lot of times very compressed. They kind of lose their quality, but at the same time, they're compressed, they load quicker. So it really comes down to how much of the image are you willing to lose? Are you willing to make it just a little bit fuzzy, but not too fuzzy, so that you will be able to make the image load faster? There are several different options that you can take. You can either, if in this case you are using a WordPress site, you can convert your PNG files to JPEGs. So there are different plugins out there that you can use, one of them which is PNG to JPEG. And another one that we've tested and that we really like is called Kraken.io. Kraken.io is very efficient, but yet it does cost a little bit of money to use, but it takes your images and you can tell it, convert it to JPEG. And what it'll do is it'll try to take, let's say, for example, a 1 megabyte file and then decrease as much as possible down to maybe 50%. And that's a huge amount of speed. If you think about it, if you have 1,000 images and multiply that by 500 kilobytes, that's amount of files that you could potentially save and speed things up for your viewers. So as you can see here, it supports JPEG, PNG, and GIF, including animated GIFs, but sometimes converting the images from one to another will actually speed things up. To give you a better view of this, I want to head on over to Photoshop, and we discussed and used this example in the previous video, but I want to use it again. But let's say, for example, I wanted to convert this image from one file type to another image file type. So if I go to the top and click on File, and then we do Export as and Save as for web, and we click on that. This is a really good example of the type of files we're dealing with, but also the amount and the size. So we can see by default this image here that we resized earlier is about 488 kilobytes. Now, how can we get that down? So what Photoshop will do is it'll give you 4 different examples. So we can see kind of how it loses the quality here. So we can see this one has lost a good amount of quality, but it's 12 kilobytes. So this would not be an issue if we have tons and tons of images. Now you really have to think about it. If you are in the photography business and your images are very, very important, then you may want to think about not using these images and maybe something like this. But if you're not in the photography business and your images are important, but they're not as important, to your visitors, then you might want to use these. So this is PNG right here. Now let's say, for example, we want to change them to JPEG. So these are JPEGs here. Let's say that I'm going to change this one from PNG to a JPEG. So we'll do JPEG. Now with a JPEG, there is a range. You can either tell it to convert to a lower quality, medium quality, high, very high to maximum. So if we do low, you can see it's gone here. If we do medium, it's gotten a little better. And if we do high, the quality looks about the same compared to this one, but the difference is this is 400 kilobytes versus this one is about 20 kilobytes. So that's a huge, huge reduction if you think about it. Now you could change from PNG to GIF file, but I personally would not recommend that unless you're dealing with some sort of animation. but as you can see, it's bumped up from 20 to 72 kilobytes. So I just wanted to show you this as an example of what happens when you change the file type. Now, JPEGs are usually very friendly in terms of websites, so that's just something to bear in mind. So if we click on save, we export it and we upload it, we'll save a good amount of space just by changing the file type and thereby getting it load quicker and faster, giving our viewers a better experience.